And now curling. Very much a participation sport, and one which is growing in popularity all the time. And that increase in appeal is at least partly due to the success of Scotland's representatives in international competition. For example, in the 1980 Uniroyal World Junior Championship in Kitchener, Ontario, Scotland were represented by that very talented young team from Stranraer, led by Andrew McQuistin. The Scots successfully reached the final, where they met the host nation.
Here it is, the 10th end of this final for the World Junior Curling Championship. The Scots with a rock at the back of the house, and Thompsett trying to throw up a corner guard just to indicate to everybody he's playing to win it right here by getting 2 in the 10th end. He has last rock. He trails 4-3. Two schools of thought. You can gamble everything to get the 2 or more to win on, or else you can play it safe and play for your 1 and force the extra end.
No, you pull out all the stops in the 10th end. You have the advantage of last rock. Last rock should be worth more than 1 point, so you gamble a whole end to get 2, because conceivably, if things don't work out for Thompsett, he could lose in the extra end, not having advantage of last rock. And let me tell you, he's got this end set up because that Scottish rock is well behind the tee line. As a last resort, he'll freeze to it.
That is the last place the Scots wanted to be. They drive it back and leave the Canadians going to the back.
And I think Canada shot rock back there as opposed to the one at the top of the 12-foot belonging to Scotland.
They are shot rock. Scots are second shot at the top of the house. As Thompsett takes a look at it to satisfy himself that that indeed is the case.
Well, this is very, very nerve-wracking because now you're drawing for the game-winning point with your lead second rock. So it's going to be a long, long end for Mert Thompsett. He's going to have to exchange 7 rocks in a row if he expects to win this game. And let me tell you, with ice keen, you have to hit a rock right on the nose to hang around. So, of course, for Mike Friesen here, he would like to get it in, but he wouldn't be too upset, even if he fell a little bit short of the rings. He has lots of weight. Now the rock is starting to come over into the heavy stuff. They better be careful. Now they're really working on it.
He's got pretty good weight. He's going to be down there well up into the 12-foot. In fact, he's going to slide up and have a piece of the 8.
Well, so far this end is shaping up in Canada's favor, regardless of what Scotland does with this shot. Even if they make a double, that rock that belongs to Scotland that is a biter on the 12-foot off the center line there, they could draw around.
McQuistin with an eye to that double, looking at the rock behind him for Hugh Aitken, the young left-handed second. Throws good weight at it.
Boy, and they yelled right away on this one. He's going to be very close to making a double or a miss. He looks like he's going to be very close.
He's got the 1, and he gets... No, he doesn't get the double. He just rolled behind it.
Oh, that was
close.
So very, very close. You know, that's a fraction of an inch. You'll see as soon as they let it go, they screamed, "Hurry!" And look at, he just catches a corner of this. The rock just goes right across the house and just goes by the Canadian rock at the back. And you see the look of remorse on McQuistin's face as he raises his arm. He thought he had a double.
That rock passed, I'd say, within half an inch of the Canadian stone of the back.
Oh, and this is a bit of a gamble on Mert Thompsett's part. He's going around the rock that is at the top of the 12-foot there. This is a real gamble on his part, because if he doesn't get it in around there and sets up a double, you know, rather than pay the open side, keep him shooting on that side. Maybe with your last one, go in around that one that's on the top of the 12-foot.
He's gone away from the open side, playing the out-turn draw.
Well, just a matter of line. I think he's got a nice-looking weight. Mert is really yelling at him, come on. He's got a great-looking shot.
Well, he's certainly by, and they want to let up now to have it stop high on the house. It does go a little bit deep, though. He's back near the other one. So it is possible for the Scots. They can get this just right to maybe double it off, although I'm not sure how much they can see of the rock that was just put down by Gagne.
And McQuistin is playing that front one off. You can see, they can see about a half a rock. If they could hit what they could see, he would make the double. But McQuistin is taking no chances because he realizes that one that's at the top of the 12-foot there on the right-hand side is potentially the danger rock for him.
Again, big weight from Aitken.
Wow!
You heard him.
Boy, he's really throwing this one.
He doesn't get it. He does not get the one to the back, but cleans the guard off, rolls over to be second shot on the left.
You'll see he was very, very close to making this shot. That rock had to just come over a bit more, and he just drives it by the Canadian rock. Look at that. Oh,
That is
just a
close.
fraction of an inch.
So twice now they have just missed getting a bonus, the Scots.
This is a very important shot here for Thompsett. He has to hit and stick, because if he hits and rolls out those two on the right-hand side, there is a possible double. Mert yelled, whoa, he's well out there. Now they're starting to work on it. He's a little bit quieter maybe than he wanted to be. They're really working on it. Well, he doesn't want to roll to the other side.
He's got it. He will roll across in that direction. He is back in the forefoot. They're all lined up in a staggered roll there. 1, 2, 3 for Canada.
Let me tell you, there is a possibility of a triple kill here.
It's there, the way they're lined up. Let's see how this one finished up.
They're really working on it, because if he hits and sticks right there, it's absolutely a perfect shot. But he hits and rolls over the right-hand side where the other two Canadian rocks are. And where that rock stops, if Scotland hits it a shade on the outside, there is a chance for a triple here.
Here's Brown, big weight.
There's a vapor trail behind this one. They are really working on it. He's throwing big weight. He's going to be very close.
1, 2, and he triples them out of there. A big shot for Norman Brown of Scotland.
Oh, you talk about clutch shooting. Do you know how accurate you have to be to make a shot like that? Look at this. They're lined up. Perfect. Look at McQuistin down on the ice. He's lining them up. Look at the action he gets on this. 1, 2, 3, and rolls them all out. Not only that, his shooter stayed in the rings.
And he changes the shot. It's way over on the left side now. So that is probably the shot of the game right there by Norman Brown, the third for McQuistin.
That's got to be disheartening for Thompsett and his team, but the one thing that he's got going for him here, you see where that rock is sitting? It is behind the tee line.
So
and
he
that
can freeze to it.
That may be the saving factor in this whole game. If Lyle Derry can freeze this rock flush to it, Canada has still got control. Oh, he's throwing a lot of weight. He's well out there, and
Looks
he
a bit
is
heavy.
strong. Oh, anything but strong. He can afford to be light, but not heavy. Mert has turned around. He's walked away. He knows that he is dead heavy and
They've
through
lost
the
it.
rings.
They have lost it. So amazingly, in his two shots, the whole complexion changes. Here are the Scots now. With shot rock, Canada down to their final 3, needing 2 to win it. After that tremendous triple by Norman Brown.
Well, you know, you can reflect back on shots. The fact that Joel Gagne hit and rolled over that side, putting all those rocks in a row, you know, you don't think of another curler making a triple, but just the where he stopped, the angle he lined them up at. Well, I think, Don, they're standing out there deciding whether you put another one in the house and force Canada to hit and stick for their one, or do you just play the whole end, hoping that Canada hits and sticks and gets one? He's going to put it right on the other side of the tee line.
Which would ensure, if they exchange shots the rest of the way, that Canada does get no more than one. And, of course, that is the aim of McQuistin. He'd love to see Canada come up without a point here or steal a point himself to ensure this win. But the thing he can't afford is 2.
Well, what he probably was talking to Brown about is the fact that don't be behind the tee line. If you're going to play it in front of the tee line. See, he's looking at that one over there on the left-hand side that is behind the tee line. This rock has to be placed perfectly, because if it slips behind the tee line, Thompsett just going to freeze to it. I think maybe somewhere in that discussion there that they were thinking of maybe taking their own off.
I'm sure they were. Now, this is tough for Brown. He threw a screamer to get the triple, so he's coming back now with draw weight.
Oh, and he looks a little dead heavy, too. He's going to be a little bit strong. They have to get it in the 4-foot area or the 8-foot area.
It is no chance for the 4, maybe the 8. They're going to sweep it all the way through. Aitken just made sure he went all the way through with it because they weren't going to get what they wanted.
Well, the other sweeper dropped off that one because he knew he was very, very heavy. And, of course, he didn't want him to stop behind the tee line, so they just swept it to make sure that it went through the rings.
Now, Thompsett indicates he wants a long corner guard out in front.
Well, I think he's just kind of reassuring Lyle Derry that better short than heavy, Lyle. So he's throwing a nicer rock this time. He's going to be considerably quieter than his first.
He is much quieter. They will leave it out there. And as a guard, as Thompsett goes gambling for his 2 by dropping his last rock by his 3rd short.
Well, there's 2 schools of thought here. The long corner guard up has 2 rocks to come, maybe play it on the other side as opposed to running that front one off. Because if he puts it on the forefoot on the other side, Canada cannot ignore it. They'd have to make a play on it. But he's going to run this corner guard off. Of course, the danger here, he doesn't want to hit it just a little bit off center and drive it back on the zone that's in the house.
Again, good weight from McQuistin. Not sweeping it at all. Waiting for it to curl enough to make sure he gets it, and he does. Rolls it away and leaves the shop rock of Scotland's on the rings. So now, Thompsett needing 2 has to be in the house. And the only shot he's got is to try to freeze down to the Scottish stone, which is back at the tee line. And he gets a big ovation from his crowd in Kitchener. Mert Thompsett, the Canadian skip, as he goes back for his first shot. Scotland leads 4-3. This is the 10th end. We are down to the final 3 rocks. 2 for Canada and 1 for Scotland.
You'll see Mert Thompsett talking to Lyle Derry, and I think he was just questioning maybe has the weight changed over there. Is it a little bit heavier? Derry, of course, threw one through the rings and one pulled up short, so he's just trying to reassure himself. He wants to get that rock somewhere in front of that Scottish rock behind the tee line, forcing Scotland to make a play on it. Oh, he's got lots of weight, too. Now they're starting to work on it. It's starting to get off center line. He's called him off it now. That rock's got a long way to curl.
It does, and it's got a fair head of steam on it.
Well, it's more for line than anything else. He wants to stop in front of it.
Digging in now for him, Don. He'll stop beside it, and will have shot, but no backing at all. He is open.
Well, you know, interesting enough, Mert Thompson put the broom down. Then when he ran down to the other end, he kind of indicated just a little bit more ice, and that was the difference on that shot, because if he takes that 2 inches less ice, that rock curls a little bit more.
So McQuistin with his final shot about to be delivered, leading 4-3. Wants to kill this one and make sure that he'll be at least alive for an extra end. Of course, the Scots won an extra end yesterday with last rock, which was not needed by McQuistin. Over the United States, 3-2.
McQuistin can afford to come off that other one belonging to himself there. He looks like he's got good line. Now they're starting to work at it. He's going to make contact.
There it goes. He rolls away, leaves the one back there for the final rock by Thompsett, who indicates he'll just draw a cold, pull in the 8-foot, and try to take this game to an 11th and extra end. The triple by Norman Brown, the key shot of this game that saves Scotland. No question of that.
Well, you know, this is where it's so very important. Thompson ran down the ice, put the broom down, took a little about 3 inches more ice. You know, it's not going to get any easier if you stand there and look at it. So he knows the weight that he has to throw. He has to be 3/4 in the 8-foot. Now it's up to the sweepers. Once he lets it go, the sweepers have to decide whether he's heavy or whether he's light. And they should sweep it just lightly at the start, just to make sure. Oh, he's got lots of weight.
Yes,
Whoa.
he did. He gave it a little push at the end.
But that rock
there.
is starting to come over a little bit more. No, he's very strong.
Yep.
It looks like that rock is going to have to curl. Now it's starting to move over now.
He needs to have a piece of it to save it.
It's starting to move over now. Is he going to catch a corner of it? He may just catch a... No, he's back.
He's Scotland the championship. The Scots have won the World Junior title. Thompsett, ever so heavy as he just failed to make contact with the face of the stone.
Oh, that is heartbreaking. Let me tell you, he had this in complete control until that triple kill by Brown. He just threw a little bit extra weight. The rock just slid by. And I know Mert Thompson's got to be very, very disappointed. He's worked so hard all year to get here. He curled extremely well, and to miss a shot like that normally he would make.
And so McQuistin moves from bronze to silver to gold. Finally here, winning the 1980 Uniroyal.